It's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Happy Tuesday night. Oh, excuse me. Hope you are having a fabulous Melbourne Cup day. I'm pretty excited to be here tonight. Let me just check that this is working. See that I've got invited a few people that usually watch. Oh, goodness me. All right. I think that I've got a few people on and watching, and let me just see that person's on. All right. So, who have we got watching tonight? I don't think we've got anyone watching. I don't think I'm even watching. Oh, goodness me. Hopefully we'll get a few people watching tonight, and it's a nice way to end your Melbourne Cup day. So tonight we are talking about something from the annual catalogue. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get Christmas carded out. So I need to do something a little bit different this week. And hopefully other people do too. So if you're watching, make sure you say hello in the comments and let me know you're here. Oh. And we can just get started in a second or two. Now tonight I'm playing with some paper that I was gifted from the Boho Vibes suite. Now you'll find this in the annual catalogue on page 62, and I'm hoping that I still have that I have the embellishments that go with that. I'm hoping I do. What are they called? They're called the Muted Palette Dust. I don't know that I have those. Surely I must. Okay, I'm just flicking through my embellishments, looking. I might not, but I have other things I can use instead, so that's all right. So who have we got watching? Make sure you say hello. We've got 4 people watching, but I don't know who they are. So make sure you say hello, because it's really hard talking to thin air. Trust me on that. Might that be it? No. I'm just looking for the embellishments, because I want to show them to you. And I usually buy every lot of embellishments, so I don't know why these would be any different, why I wouldn't have bought them. But maybe I didn't. That would be highly unusual. Hey Rhoda, hey Megan. Lovely to see you. Alright, I mustn't have bought those embellishments. That's okay, we have others we can use. Okay, so as I said, tonight we're working with some designer series paper that I was gifted by Megan And I've got 2 cards designed. Now, I don't have the stamp set, which is the Sunshine Vibes that coordinates with it, and I don't have the dies. So we are going to do some, we're going to improvise. So I thought last week our die cutting was so successful that I might do it again this week. I know, shocking, right? How are you, Rhoda? How are you, Megan? So yeah, if you want to have a look at other things in this suite, it's called the Boho Vibes suite. Now, I'd say I'm not a fan, but it's not my first choice of stamp set or dies. Oh no, I don't need the dies, Megan. I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to improvise with them. Okay, so let's start with the first card, which is a little bit, I'd say this is the harder of the 2 cards. And when I say it's hard, it's not, well, I don't think it's hard. We're improvising. I'm glad you're well. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm better than what I was yesterday, so that's all good. I wasn't very well yesterday and spent a few hours getting some tests done at my least favourite place in the world. No offence to anyone who works at QE2. Alright. These are the Everyday Archers dies. So what I have done is I have got some washi tape and I have stuck the dies onto a piece of Secret Sea cardstock. And on the back of the Secret Sea cardstock, I have put some of the adhesive sheets. Now, they used to be called Sizzix adhesive sheets. So basically, you peel off the backing, stick it on, and then you leave this backing on while you die cut. Okay? Hey, Glenda, how are you? I hear you had a visitor, Glenda. The other Glenda. I was so excited that you got to see each other. Alright, so I've lined all these up and I've got my backing paper on the back. So when I die cut, I'll be able to just easily peel off the backing. Well, that's the theory. Alright, so we know when we use this cut and emboss machine for die cutting, we need plate number 1. Oh, you're over the heat too. I'm not a heat person. Then we're going to need plate number 2. We're just going to set that back a little bit. Then a plate number 3. Then our paper or our cardstock with the adhesive sheet stuck to the back, and our dies face down, and then the second plate number 3, and we're lining that up with plate number 1. Okay, and I'm not going to put this right in the screen. It won't fit under the camera today. And we're just going to run that through our die cutting machine. And look at those lovely, lovely clean plates. That is the second time they've been used. So, and because I've got it right, you don't have any cut on the first plate. plate 3. Okay, so you can see on the back here, we've got some cuts. And then I'm just going to move my die cutting machine out the way. I'm going to put that out the way until we're ready. And let's talk about the base of this card. I should show you the paper first. Hey Christine, how are you? So this is the paper from the Boho Vibes. And it's very, very nice. That's the other side of that paper. Then you've got that one. Oh, hang on. We'll go that way. Then we've got this one. Then we have that one. I like that one. So I like the reverse sides on some and the... So this isn't a paper that I would normally go, oh, I have to have that. But when it's gifted, go, yeah, I could do something with that. Then we've got that one. I don't have, we're using the other side of that one for something. We have this one, that one, oh, and this one down here. I don't know why I've got an extra sheet of that. Must have been smuggled. And then we've got this one here. Okay. All right. So for this card that I'm using at the moment, we're going to use this one. How are you, Christine? All right. So we have got our base card. Now our base card is going to be, it's going to be a fancy fold card, and it is going to be, well, so if you were doing it at home, you're going to do it 10 inches. I did it a bit less because I had to trim off a bit because my paper trimmer was blunt. So it's going to be 10 inches, and then you're going to score it at 4 inches and 7 inches. Okay? So it's going to be a fold that goes like this. And you're going to get your bone folder. So, or you can score it at 3 inches and 6 inches. Just depends which way you're going to go. Okay, so we're just going to go that way. Now, if you're doing it at 10 inches, rather than, it's going to line up with the edge there. All right. So then you're going to take your piece of 6x6 paper and you're going to cut it. And you're going to cut it so that it is, sorry, 2 and, it'll be 2 7/8, and then this one will be both of those will be 2 7/8, so you'll have a strip down that side. I'll cut this one a little bit shorter because I'm putting it on here, and that's just stripped by that side, and it would be 5 and 5/8. I think that's right. So the first bit we're going to do is we're just going to stick these on so they don't get Megan come to Melbourne because it's hot one day and freezing the next. Well, that's the problem, that it's hot one day and then our temperature has been stupid. And we've had all these storms, and like pretty much the whole of the East Coast has had storms, so. Okay. Now I'm just going to stick this on, and I'm using glue to give me some wriggle room. And because this is a directional pattern, we're going to make sure that it lines up perfectly. So then we open it out, and we've got this one. So as I said when I first started, I am Christmas carded out today. So do we get Glenda S on there yet? No. Oh, Rhoda's back again. Rhoda's saying hello to the other Christine. Ah. It's not the Christine you think it is though, Rhoda. It's a Melbourne Christine. Not the Brisbane Christine. Okay. There we go. See, that's on there like that. Okay. So then so our pattern's matching. Then we've got this one here. Okay. And it's funny when people say hello Christine, I often answer because my mum and my sisters call me Christine, and so few people that I used to work with all call me Christine. So yeah, I get a bit confused. I've got an identity crisis. No, I don't really. Okay, so remember these pieces that we cut before. We're going to quickly just take them apart. Right, so take off this outer edge. Now I used washi tape, and it took me a little bit to try and make sure that they were all lined up, and I think they might have moved, but we'll see how we go. It should be. So I've got an outer one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bottom off all of these once I get them in place. So you'll see I've only cut half the arches because I want to put them in the corner. See, I love a good storm. I really do. I think that comes from watching them over the ocean. I just love them. Alright. So we're going to, might think, oh, this is really weird, Chrissy. What on earth are you doing? Trust the process. Okay. So I'm going to start with my smallest one. And I'm just going to cut off that bit there. And what I want to do is I want to take off the backing, and I'm making my own arch because I didn't have the dies, and I am lining that arch up. So when the card is closed, you'll see parts of the arch. Okay. Yes, that DSP is in the paper pack. That's why I'm using it, Megan. Because that was the brief I was given, that I had to use this paper. Oh, I want to go the second smallest one. And because you've used this adhesive sheet, it is so much easier than gluing. We're just going to cut that bit off. I'm just gently putting them where I think they might go. And I may need to bring this one in a bit and trim it a bit more. So they can have a little gap between them. All right. Now this is the hardest part of this card. All right, is getting the little pieces in place. And just take off the backing paper. Okay. Sorry, I feel like my nose is... Oh, you'd hide under your bed. Oh, hi Fiona. Thanks for watching. We haven't got too far, so that's good. So, did anyone watch the Melbourne Cup today? I did. And I was so excited that an Australian horse won, and it was ridden by a woman. So I was super, super excited. I don't know if anyone else was. I didn't have a bet or anything. I just watched it because I like all the pizzazz of the cup. Now, I must have cut too much off that one. Maybe what I should have done, I think I cut too much off that one. Or maybe that's not the right one. Maybe I got them out of order. Let's just see. Oh, that works better. So see, we're just getting them all in order. That's better. Got the next one. And what I should have done is stuck these on before I stuck my white down. And you can put them close together, you can put them far apart, it just depends on you. Just try and keep them straight, the upright parts straight. Okay. You were having a cat nap during the cup. Well, that's allowable too. I had a cat nap yesterday. Okay. I think that's the second biggest one. Yep. All right. So see, we're starting to build this arch of all different sizes. And, you know, it is actually probably better if you cut that bottom bit off before you start trying to place it. But anyway, Adelphi watched the cup with me. Oh, Steve stood up on the balcony and watched it. But Delphi watched it with me and she cheered. She likes watching the horses. I have to tell you this story. When my sister-in-law, Camille, came to live in Australia from the US, she had arranged, her fiance didn't know that she had come to Brisbane. Anyway, she had arranged to meet what was to be her future mother-in-law, my mother-in-law at the time, at somewhere in the Brisbane city. Anyway, they were meeting at about 1:45, and keep in mind that Queensland is not on daylight savings time, so that's 3 o'clock, 2:45 Queensland daylight savings time. Anyway, she meets up with our mother-in-law, and then everybody in the CBD basically disappears, and she had no idea what was happening because she didn't know anything about the Melbourne Cup, and so she couldn't work out where everybody had gone, because basically if you're in the CBD on Melbourne Cup Day, everyone disappears at just before 2 to watch the race, because it literally is the race that stops the nation. So she was freaking out because there was nobody around. And then the next week she was at a shopping centre and it was Remembrance Day. And I don't know about other parts of Australia, but in Queensland on Remembrance Day at 11 a.m. on the 11th of November, they play the taps and the last post and the revelry, and you need to observe a minute's silence at 11 a.m. to mark the end of the war. Anyway, so she had no clue about that either. And so she's in the shops, and then everybody stands as still as statues, and it goes dead quiet. And she didn't know what was going on. So, yeah, it was pretty fun. We all thought it was funny. She didn't think it was funny, but we all thought it was funny. So these are my wonky arches, as you can see. So it's funny how, though, back to my story, about how traditions that we have, if you're not from that place, you would have no clue. And it would be very scary for somebody who has no clue about Australian culture to have to arrive and then go, oh, why is everybody not walking, or why has everybody disappeared? It would be quite scary, I would think. Okay, so now we've got our arches. And so this is a little bit fiddly. I promise that our next one isn't as fiddly. So I'm going to use the birthday wishes from the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar, because I can. And we're going to grab out another Everyday Arch die. And I might grab that one. Because I think that's going to be big enough. Megan, how's Miss Delphi's eye? Yeah, could we ask another question? I think you need to ask me a different question to that. It hasn't improved. Can I just say that? Alright, so we're going to grab this from the Everyday Arches dies, and we're going to die cut that. And we'll die cut the one that is slightly bigger as well. So let's bring back our die cutting machine. Oh, 2 lots of die cutting in one night. That's got to be some sort of miracle, really. Well, I figured that you probably would prefer me to do some die cutting and show you some technical things. So I've got a piece of Secret Sea, and I've got a piece of basic white. I'm just going to pop both of those on and put them on an angle. I don't want to put them in straight, just on an angle. I'm just going to pop them through my die cutting machine. Yes. Yeah, Delphi Dog is lying here beside me, listening to me chatter to you tonight. She decided it was time to keep me company. I think because she was lonely yesterday when I was off getting tests and stuff. So, and I must say, when you're not seriously ill, and you're not, that hospital environment's really boring when you're waiting to get tests done. And there's lots of waiting. But anyway, so she missed me yesterday. Alright, so I've got my little bit of die cutting done. But she seems happy enough, like she's not scratching her eye or anything, but we've been religiously putting cream on. Okay, let's look for the birthday wishes. I might have to do a bit of masking here because it's going to be too long. But that's okay, so we'll grab out, I should use my masking paper, but I'm just going to grab out my post-it note, trusty post-it note, a piercing mat, and here's one I prepared earlier. And now, did I tell people that my husband does these piercing mats and he's taking orders? So if you want a personalised piercing mat, drop me a message and we'll have a chat about what you want. Ah, Megan, maybe she just misses you and wants to hear your name. Well, funny, I just looked at her when I said Megan and she lifted her head. So maybe you're right, Megan. Okay, I've got my block. Alright, and we're going to stamp in Secret C because this is going to be a monochromatic card because, well, I don't know it is actually monochromatic, but because I think it's got some crumb cake in it, but anyway. So I'm just going to stamp the birthday. Okay, stamp that there, and I've probably put it too close to the top, but that's okay. And then around about halfway along, so maybe below the H, I'm going to stamp the word wishes. There we go. And needs a little love heart, I think. So he is clever. Yeah, he likes to do that, and let's pop that little love heart there. He does bone folders as well, and scissors, and so a friend of mine had a retreat last year, or a girls' weekend, crafty weekend away. So for her, he did the piercing mats, bone folders, scissors, blending brushes, and a block. So he can do all of that stuff. I designed the layout for them, but he sat there and did it for them. So that was really good, and they loved them, and they were using them at retreat, so that was pretty nice to see them. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to layer these two, but because the larger one is so big, we're going to trim it down after I've layered them. Megan, I think Duffy knows that you spoil her with treats. It's a bit like when our friend Russell comes to visit and she immediately sits in front of him knowing that he will have something for her. He's adopted her as his other grandchild. Okay, I'm just wriggling this a little bit. Make sure that's lined up. I'll grab my paper trimmer. Trim a bit off the end. Just need to stick those down a bit better. Now, what I will do, because they're a bit uneven, I will use my paper trimmer to trim them. Okay. So I might take a little bit more off. No, I think actually that should be enough. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, because they are a little bit uneven, just going to go with my paper trimmer and have it so that the blade is right next to the white, and just gently trim those ones. And that one moved because I hadn't taken the backing off it properly, I don't think. That should work. That's being facetious. Yeah, so they look a bit better now. And they're alright at the bottom. Okay. I think that one's just a bit crooked, that's all. Okay. So, now, we'll pop this on here. And it's got some, see, it's got arches, it's following that arch theme. We're going to use our black dimensionals for this, I know. Well, if we can find them. Because it would make it, hey Sherry! Oh wow, it must be the middle of the night for you. Or is it stupid o'clock in the morning? Oh, I can never remember. Oh, I hope you're okay over there. I've been thinking of you. And yeah, it's probably cooling down for you now. Does it ever get cool in Florida? Actually, no, I know that it does because I know it snowed last year in Florida, but yeah, wow. No, Megan Delphi Dog is not silly. She definitely knows the routine and she knows who she can get treats from. And she knows here who's going to feed her first. Like if there is any food to be had off our plate, Delphi knows how to get it. Okay, so there we go. So this is our first card. What do we think of this one? It's like a little bit of work with these arches and needed to probably fix that last one, but I think it's okay because these arches aren't perfect, so these arches don't need to be perfect either. So that is our first card and I'm quite liking the arches there. You let me know in the comments what you think. Now I do have a second card to do and that's way quicker than the first, trust me. Alright, so I have my standard card base. Whoops. Just dropped stuff all over the floor. Oh, goodness me. Excuse my coughing. Okay, I have my standard card base. Then I have a piece of basic white, which is 1/4 of an inch smaller. And I used my other paper trimmer, so I just need to... So this one is 5.5 inches. Just need to trim this up because it is... my other paper trimmer was not as sharp. The blade needed changing and it's still iffy. I'm just going to make it 5 3/8 just because it's 3 5/8. I'm only making it a little bit smaller because I had a ragged edge. Okay, well, it is supposed to be a masculine card. I have 2 men who are having birthdays this month, and I've also got to make something for my mum's birthday, but I'm not making that tonight. Okay, so that's going to go on the inside. I'm not sticking it on just yet. This is our card base, which is 5 3/4 high by 8 wide. So, and as you know, I trim mine a little bit different. Okay. Then I have this is also from that same suite. I have a piece of pattern paper, and this is, let me just check. It is 3 3/4 by 5.5. So that's going to go on the front. Now this is a nice quick card. Just going to use my bone folder just to stick that down. Okay, now I have a piece of pattern paper here, and it is 3 inches by 4 inches, so it's the whole width of the card. And this is that squiggly line. So I'm just going to cut that into 1 inch strips. So I'm lining it up with the 1 inch mark on the other side and the 2 inch mark there. That seems odd that they're not. So that's one inch strip. Then the next 1 inch strip. So I'll have 3 1 inch strips. Okay. Now this is a good way if you've got 1 inch strips of card left, of pattern paper left. This is a really good way to use up pattern paper. So what I'm going to do with these strips, and this will work whether you're doing an Australian measurement or a US measurement. Hi Carol, lovely to see you. Oh, I bet you were counting your Melbourne Cup winnings, were you? I hope you watched the race. I didn't even put a bet on. And I didn't get, at our sports club, I bought a ticket in the Calcutta, and I didn't even get a horse in that. Would have liked to have had a sweep or something. I wonder if they do sweeps in other parts of the world. Oh, I love this end. Oh, I love this end of the Tombow glue, Sherry. And the reason I love it is because you can just smooth it out. Although, every time I use it, I can hear some of my avid watchers going, use the other end. And every so often I will use the other end. But I love that end of the glue. All right. And this pattern's really nice and easy to line up. It's not messy, Megan, and I am not weird. Well, actually, yes, I am weird, but it's not messy. It's only messy if you squeeze it too hard. Okay. All right, so we've got this pattern all lined up, and we've got about, I'd like to say, 1/4 inch gap between each one. Okay. Try and line it up with the top of the fold of your card. Okay, so that's that bit. Then I have a piece of the pattern paper that I have cut using the Stylish Shapes dies. So I've cut that using the second largest one. Now you can use a bigger one if you like. I had cut this one using the largest one, but it was too big, so I've just trimmed the Cajun craze down to 2.5 inches square. Now, we're letting all of the pattern paper do the talking on this. Okay. So you could, if you wanted to, if you had the coordinating stamp set, you could probably, if it's got arches in it, I don't know whether it does or not, but you could stamp arches if that's what it's got. Carol, I'm surprised you only use the other end. I've used it for years. Okay, so now I've got a piece of daffodil, and what I did is I cut a banner like that, and then I thought I don't want a banner both ends, so I just tucked it into my die and cut one of the banner ends off. But I know that it's a little bit too short for what I want to do. So I'm going to grab my trusty paper trimmer and I'm going to cut 1 inch off, right? And I'm keeping both pieces, don't worry about that. So then what I can do, let's get rid of that, is I'm going to work out where I might want to put it. And I have that so it overlaps there. So about here, I'm going to glue one end of my banner. So it lines up, and you've got a pattern, so you can line it up with the pattern. Then I know, okay, whoops, and make sure you put it on the right way so that you've got your stitching, okay. Then I know that I need to have this bit here lined up with the pattern, and so it's got enough peeking out, okay. And I can move this because I haven't stuck it down completely. I can move it over a little bit. Just going to move it over just a tad, and I know that I can stick this one down. And I'm going to stick it so it lines up about there. Okay. There you go. Oh no, there's a big gap in the middle. Okay. Don't worry about that gap in the middle. I've used my pattern as a guide, so it should be straight. Let's grab a ruler and see if it is straight. Looks pretty straight to me. That could just come down a little bit. That's not too bad. There we go, so we've got those two bits on. Then we're going to grab some ordinary dimensionals. We don't need to use black ones this time because they're going on a lighter colour. Okay, we're just going to take all those backings off, throw them on the floor so Steve has to clean them up. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not throwing them on the floor so Steve has to clean them up. That was just a joke. I'll put them in my little rubbishy thing. Dimensional backing so that He doesn't have to clean them up tomorrow. Although, I've got the house to myself tomorrow actually. That's going to be fun. Okay, so there we've started the front of our card. Now, let's see, we've got a piece of this left over. So we might just pop this on the inside of the card. So we're attaching it to the white. We're going to put it on the right hand side. And I'm not a big fan of that petal pink, so I've positioned it, oops, so I can just trim that petal pink off the top. Oops. You'd think I could get it on straight. And I haven't even had any bubbles for Melbourne Cup Day. Ah. A bit of that. So the last thing we'll need after we stick this on the inside is a sentiment. And I have die cut a few pieces of cloud cover with the stylish shapes. So I want a birthday message on here. And I'm thinking I'd like one that's thin enough to stamp on that, but I don't think I have one. I wonder if birthday wishes is thin enough. Where did I just put that piece? Are we all still here? Did anyone do anything fabulous over the weekend? No, that's not going to fit on that one. Okay. What else can I put on there? Wonder if we could do you're watching and you're storing cardstock for boxes. Oh, I forgot to bring my box up that I made. I was pretty impressed by that. Oh no, that's not going to fit. That can go on the inside. Okay, I don't want anything too big. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use a totally different stamp than I thought I would. I've got the more messages here, right? And I've already stamped and cut them. I haven't done them in Secret Sea, but I've done it in Memento Black, so that'll be okay. What I'm going to do, because there should be a hooray one in here, is hoping there's a hooray, there's a hello, way to go, oh, you can do anything, I adore you, oh, happy birthday. All right, so I've got this happy birthday. It's nice and small. So this is the the More Messages cling stamp set, and it is just one stamp, okay, and one die. So you stamp multiple things with that. Okay, now I have bought upstairs my cloud cover stamping blends, because I just picked them up and went, oh, I might need those. So what I'm going to do is quickly grab my cloud cover stamping blends, and I'm going to colour them this sentiment, which was in basic white, in the cloud cover. So then it'll be the right colour that I want for my, to go on top of my little banner, because I want to use that banner. So this is the light, so I'm going to go all over the cloud, all over this with the light. Brand new, so and it's nice, and yeah, I know it's totally Christmas card out at the moment. Now this is the dark cloud cover, so I'm just going to go around the outside with that. Well, actually just really gently around the outside. And so we're keeping the inside light and the outside is going to be dark. Right, when that dries, it'll be more blended, but you can just go over the bottom again if you wanted to. All right. So now, and again, I want to keep that straight edge. I don't want to have a banner edge on that, but I'm not going to worry about the putting stitching on it. I'm just going to trim it with my trusty paper trimmer. All right, that should be trimmed almost enough. We shall pop that on there with the edge piece. Now I do wish I knew where my embellishments were that coordinate with this. This is when, days like this is when I need an assistant to find the stuff that I can't find. I tell you, I spent ages looking for these dies, only to find they were upstairs because I didn't take them downstairs last week. So Megan, are the boxes that you're cutting, are they for a swap? Or are they for presents or something else? I wonder. Just had a little brain wave here. I want it to go that way. I want to break the mould a bit. And then, now we know that it's a little teeny bit long now. That's okay, we can cut off the rounded ends and make it the exact shape we want to make it without too much work. Okay. So now it'll fit. And again, we're going to use these little, we're going to use our mini dimensionals. No, we're going to use this side edge because that's way easier. They're presents. You're going to send me the one that you didn't want today because it's in my pile. Oh, my assistant is home sorting cardstock. Would that be you? Oh, I didn't know you were my assistant. But that's okay. Oh, so if you are a Stampin' Up demonstrator, be sure to have a look on the demonstrator website tonight because it has annual recognition of achievements for demonstrators. If you go to the Hall of Fame and then annual achievements, I think, and then scroll down, you'll find who the incentive trip achievers were, and it wasn't me, and who achieved what level in sale, like all the level 1, 2 and 3 and 4 achievers in sales, leadership and team building. And also tomorrow they announce in the Stampin' Up world who the top demonstrators globally are in each country. So that's exciting. I think it's at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, so this just needs a little bit of bling on it. And we were going to stamp on the inside, but I'm not going to stamp on the inside. Okay, so I think it needs a bit of bling that is possibly a secret C or a... Just wish I knew where the bling was that I bought that comes with that paper. I've got my little blingy box. See, oh, hang on. I'll lift up the camera and you'll be able to see my blingy box because I've graduated from a folder because I have so much. So I think I just have to move it. So I was just showing you. You don't really need to see my blingy box. I think it... What is that called? The actual bling that goes with the paper is called the Muted Palette Dots. Now I did have that somewhere. I know that I did. And it had a little silver spot on it. But I don't know where it might be. I've got lots of online exclusive bling, and I usually buy every bit of bling that is in annual catalogues. So opal rounds. No, that's not it. It's disappeared. I reckon you could use antique dots. Antique white dots. But I think that I'm just going to, if I have any left, going to use the in colour. Secret C in colour ones because they look like they work to me. All right. Hey Leanne, lovely to see you. Okay, now let's, we're just finishing our second card of the night. So we are a bit over time tonight, like last week when we were under time. So I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight dots. One in that corner. I'm going to put one in each corner because I can. Where did it go? There it is. I need to replace my putty on my Take My Pick tool because it is pretty much out. One in that corner. And I don't think that that's enough bling. Like, we've got 4 pieces. I think we need to have more than 4 pieces of bling. A bit like Jennifer Aniston in Office Space when she had worked for that restaurant and she had to have more than 5 pieces of bling. I think we need a minimum of 5. Okay, so what other colour of bling could we have? I'm going to go with some... And we didn't put bling on our first card, so we need to go back and do that. I'm going to put... Actually, just put some bling on here. Another piece of bling over here. I'll just move this one along a little bit. So it's going to be all on the rainbow. I've got a big piece there and that's going to go around sort of in that, following the curve of the rainbow. And let's bring this one card back in. And we'll pop some bling on that. And again, we're going to go with the cloud cover because we can. So I'm going to pop a small piece of bling up in that corner and another piece of bling, a small piece in that corner. Okay. Oh, you're doing cards for Kevin's card a day. Oh, I'm only doing the card for the day that I'm nominated, Leanne. A friend of ours, Kevin Thiessen, has a group and they do a card a day in November. And I'm a slacker and I've nominated for one day and I'll do the card for that day and that's it. All right, so there we go. So there are our 2 cards. I do wish I could have put the muted bling on, and you know that I will find it. Okay. It sound a bit like what's her name? Elsa Fisher in Wedding Crashes, where she goes, I will find you, and it's really creepy. But anyway, or what's his name? Liam Neeson, he always says, I will find you. Anyway, so I will find those pieces of bling later on, and yeah. Oh, Leanne, you're aiming for over half this time. Goodness me. I don't have time to do that. he's lucky I'm cheering everybody on. Alright, so these are my 2 cards. So this is card number 1, which we use with Everyday Archers, and the sentiment is from the Advent Calendar stamp set, which sold out, which Rhoda won as a lucky door prize at our retreat. So congratulations, Rhoda. I hope you've used it, because you can use the stamp set without opening the calendar. And we've used the Boho Vibes paper from the annual catalogue. And then this is my second card, which we've used Stylish Shapes dies and the More Messages stamp set and die. And that's the inside. All right. Okay, so that's it for tonight. As I said, if you're a demonstrator, look on the demonstrator web page for the achievements, and tomorrow Australian time, so it'll probably be today US time, they'll have the Global Achievers announcement. I am not expecting to be in the top 20, but if I am, that's great, but I'm not expecting to be anywhere near there this year. I've been in the top 10 once. I think that's enough. Got to give other people a chance. No, I didn't work hard enough. I think it's, Megan, I think it's 5 a.m. our time, 6 a.m. daylight savings times, I think. There should be an announcement on the demonstrator webpage about what time it's on. Should be. But it's over in the demonstrator planning place group. So that's going to be fun. And for all my demo friends, if your name was on the achievements list today, on the recognition list, congratulations. I know you all work really hard. Okay, so that's it from me. I'll see some of you at Craft and Chat this Friday. So that is our little group where we all catch up and bring your own crafty project. That doesn't have to be a card making project. It can be any crafty project that you're working on. Sometimes people bring knitting, other times people bring embroidery, other people bring cards or scrapbooks, and it's just a fun morning and everyone brings a plate of snacks to share, and it goes for about 3 hours, thereabouts, and you get some stuff done that you want to get done. And we talk and we have cups of tea or coffee, and it's just a nice morning. So it's a BYO everything. And then next week we have coffee, cake and cards. And a big thanks to Tracy for and Megan for coming and watching my mystery stamping on Saturday. That was a nice card as well, and I've already posted that on the webpage. So until next time, happy creating, and bye for now, and stay safe in all those storms that are happening across the east coast of Australia, and yeah, catch you soon.